and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcasts. I'm Justin, here with Meelz, episode 222 in 2022. How's that for symmetry for your ass?
It is what it is, man. Listen, what a day. What a day, what a day, what a day. What a day.
We've had quite the day.
We've had quite the day. We might let you guys in on it at some point in the future, but we had quite a day. But guess what? Actually, we had quite a week, man. But you know what? We're going to let you all in on it at some point in the future, some point over in our lives. But it's been quite a week. But first things first, COVID-free, COVID negative.
All right. Yes, sir.
We here. We live. We're back. We're healthy. I'm about to take my ass back to work and make people very uncomfortable with the amount of precautions that I would like for them to implement. People very, very uncomfortable. I'm going to say, please wear your mask. Please. I don't know. I'm not doing that. Listen, if you don't set boundaries for yourself, people going to take advantage of you. I learned that from 50 Cent. I just did.
Well, you got to look at what 50 Cent does to other people, too.
But listen, no one messes with it. Well, seldom people mess with him, but not everybody messes with him because that's the boundaries he set for himself. He was like, listen, I will shoot you, or if you won't mess with me, I will shoot you. And it's not that extreme, but I think it's a nice little learning lesson in life of like, listen, make sure that you set these boundaries, make sure that you let people in, make sure you communicate the boundaries that you have so people learn or people know not to cross those boundaries, especially if they're important to you. So listen, take that little bit of nugget news. Of course, I'm still in these New York streets. Take this little bit of nugget of news and take it amongst your day.
Yeah. Before we, get right into everything, we got a bunch of new patrons.
Why?
We got a bunch of patrons. They want to see us die, I think. I'm convinced they want to see us die. Okay.
I mean, and why not?
In fact, one of them said as much.
God bless you. I mean, God bless you. But yeah, we'll see.
So some of the patrons that we have, Donnie Lucci, of course. Thank you, sir. Jordan Dinwiddie, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you. Sachin's Sepkoda. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Let me know in the comments. Thank you. Spin Sugar. Spin XX Sugar. Thank you. And DMV fan 123. That's the guy who wants to see us in pain. He literally came into our Discord and said, I'm really here because, I love the show and everything, but I want to see y'all do the hot chip challenge. So we have 89 patrons. At 100, we're doing the chip challenge. I feel like we're gonna go over that when we announce some certain things that we're gonna do.
I mean, we should just announce it now at this point because since we're talking about Patreon. So, of course, big news this week. Actually, for next week. So, next week, of course, yearly tradition. Where would it be without the A Show and its yearly tradition? The Royal Rumble pool.
Yeah, Royal Rumble pool. It is. It's a tradition that we do where we take we take some of the best and brightest of our fandom and our listenership, and we implement them into the Royal Rumble pool. We have 30 spots for everyone. We hand you out a slot, and if you win, you get a guest slot on the show. However, this year is going to be really interesting now that we have a Patreon, and we're going to be doing a lot of different things with the Patreon. We'll be able to announce that imminently with what we're going to be doing with the Royal Rumble pool. Again, last year's winners, who won last year? I can't even remember. I know they're going to be pissed off because they're like, I fucking won. I won. Who the fuck won? I forgot. It's so much stuff going on. But every year we have a new Meelz, do you remember?
No, but no, I just don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't listen. I don't even remember the stuff that I say on this podcast after it's published. So You do one every week. What the hell am I supposed to remember all this stuff for? But if you won last year, if you won any year, I mean, God bless you. I remember the few who won. I remember Sinvidius's one. Shout out to him. He went to an AEW show recently and let me know how it went. And says everyone enjoyed themselves and it was crazy. He went to the one where they had Daniel Bryan versus
Page.
yeah. So he went to that one, which was cool. And
He didn't
then
walk out right after.
nah, he didn't walk out right after.
In the troops.
And then I remember Armand won one because yeah. I remember that Rob has won one.
Did he win last year? I'm trying to go back and see one. I can't.
Armand, nah, Armand is a couple years ago.
Okay. Ah,
I remember Donnie Smooth won one. I remember that because his name was Sushi Boy in our thing, and I was like, wow, Sushi Boy, that's interesting. If you hear anything behind me, it's my heat in my house. So unless you guys want me to freeze to death, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to bear with the noise. But it seems like it's tuning out every now and then. But yes, it's the heat in my house. Sorry, I live in the projects. Not the
yeah,
projects, the ghetto.
wow,
Sorry.
you do not live in the projects. Okay, so we have 89 patrons. We're 11 away from 100. If we get 100, obviously you still get all of the great content that we have. Of course, we have Legendary Run season 2. Me and Cyrus will be walking through Batista's 2005 run. Of course, we had season 1 with Kenny Omega's 2016, but season 2 is dropping on, I believe I said February 8th. So yeah, February 8th, Tuesday, February 8th, season 2 comes out for Legendary Run. Meelz has some really cool stuff coming up. Of course, we have the Rewriters Room returning this month.
We got the vocals. The vocals are in. So if you guys are looking
Yes.
forward to the rewriters room, there will be a new rewriters room out this week. The vocals are officially in. Matter of fact, I might listen when this is up live for everybody else. I'm gonna put this on the Patreon, so it'll be on the Patreon on Wednesday. So make sure you tune into that, and then it'll be live for everybody else on Thursday, and then we have War Report on Friday, and all of the other stuff like that. But if you want everything early, and you want all this other special bonus, amazing content, including us attempting to kill ourselves by eating a chip, well, attempting because we're still at 89. We're not 100 yet. We need 11 people. Will 11 people sign up for this thing? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they will once we put the Royal Rumble pool up and some of the special things we'll be doing for patrons and stuff like that for Royal Rumble pool. Like they're definitely gonna sign up. So
Patreon.com/the
yes, so thank you guys for again subscribing, and we're really looking forward to. They're trying to get us the fuck out of here this month, so we're probably eating that chip this month meal. So you might as well.
I'm not gonna order it. I'm not gonna have it sit around. I don't want a stale chip. I mean, I'm sure it's stale anyway because it's. I doubt it's probably not even a chip. It's just like a
It's not
surface of death.
Here's the thing about the hot chip. It's not actually edible. It's probably going to be stale anyway.
Yeah, it's just a circle of death at this point. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a or oddly shaped chip of death, but nonetheless, it is what it is.
We go buy this milk, man. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get.
Listen, talk about premium live events at WWE or nothing, and that's gonna be a premium live event, man. We might have to
Absolutely.
have an intro to this. You might have to call a couple people up before we do this. This is gonna be pay-per-view at this point.
We're gonna have the
Oh my god.
shit. Oh my god. All right, but speaking of Patreon, let's get into our Patreon segment. We'll be right back on the free version. All right, free people. We just had
free people.
free the people. We just had some of the most stressful shit I've ever been put through on Patreon. With the 5 with J5. If you don't know, you're a first time listener. The 5 with J5 is a series where Meelz asked me 5 questions. I can't look at Google, can't look at anything. And he asked me these questions about wrestling history, and I have to answer them. But this year he had a little bit of a twist. But we'll let you guys subscribe to find out. Obviously, $5 to enter our Patreon to get bonus segments on the A show and fun stuff, really funny stuff, and us talking that real shit on our Patreon. So, as always, thank you guys for listening. But also, hey, Patreon is a pretty good. I gotta say, Meelz, pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal. To be honest with you, pretty good deal.
But let's get into No Holds Barred. First up, last weekend. I'm glad this kind of happened not on a day after we record the show, but
well, I'm sure something will happen tomorrow.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mustafa Ali went on Twitter with a produced video saying that he has requested his release from the WWE, citing that his message was too big to be stuck at this company. He's requested his release. Obviously, as you can imagine, this put the timeline in an uproar of many different things, many different opinions. And here's our opinion, starting with Meelz. How do you feel about this?
Once again, I mean, it's like I said on the Patreon. If you want to leave, I'm not gonna. If you want to quit your job, if things have not been working out well, by all means, like just do whatever you want to do or do what's best for you at the end of the day. Um, I'm not even gonna say I'm surprised because I guess I'm not. Um, there were obviously last year. I mean, at late last year, after the whole retribution thing, after the whole moving to SmackDown thing, after the whole losing to Drew McIntyre thing, he made a promo, and the reason why that you guys don't cheer me is because my name is Mustafa Ali, and then he left, and it was supposed to be the beginning of a new gimmick, a beginning of a new, I guess, era of Ali's career, which I was applauding because I think for someone who, especially came from 205 Live, the brand where it seems like everyone who was on that brand is like no longer with the WWE at this point, except a very few. Shout out to Akira Tozawa, um, who just like ninja. Um, but there's so many people who have left that brand, but he seemed to be the one who was like, okay, I'm going to reinvent myself. I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to hone my craft on the mic. I'm going to hone my craft in the ring, posting all these things where he's like wrestling shadow wrestlers, where he's like doing like 80 moves and then a submission at the end, et cetera, et cetera. I'm improving is what that says. However, we didn't see much more of that gimmick. He had a child. It was announced that he was on paternity leave, to which now is being reported that he was only on paternity leave. He only requested that 1 week off for paternity leave, and he wanted to get back on the road and get back to his gimmick. We saw a couple of videos of what he wanted to do for his gimmick, but it's been pulled, and then no news until now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's not shocking to say that we all thought of big things with Ali in particular. He was someone that to me kind of outmoded and just seemed like a bigger star than 205 Live could contain, even bigger than Cedric, bigger than Buddy, all of them. He just had that look. I wasn't mad at his heel turn either. I thought he was a really good heel too. The matches with Ricochet were really good. He was featured at least somewhat prominently, regardless of what Retribution ended up becoming. That was a stable that they had invested a lot of time in 2020 to, on both shows even. So, I see, that there were attempts made, but I just felt like at this point, it's not a fit for him to be there. Then he should just leave. You know,
You know what? It's crazy. I do think he's a fit because I do think he's a very malleable superstar or wrestler rather, who can kind of adapt to anything. I mean, you look at the being the scrappy underdog coming up to SmackDown, so many opportunities that I guess he almost had that I think he probably would have at this range excelled at, or maybe would have changed his career trajectory entirely. And then he became the voice of Retribution, which I also think was, being able to be someone. Now Retribution was garbage water in my opinion, just overall the
yeah,
concept, the
yeah,
delivery of that, but it was,
yeah,
it was to no fault of his own or really the superstars of their own. It's really the effort of the company. um but nonetheless, I think he did a great job with what he did, and I always saw him as someone that's like, all right, I'm going to do the best I can with what I got.
mhm,
And that's kind of how I always saw him as. It reminded me of someone like Sami Zayn, for instance, who was just like, it may not be the best stuff. Sami Zayn's an incredible wrestler. He's an incredible entertainer as well. And he seems to be able to mesh both worlds, or at least have some creative um, control or capacity to be able to kind of flex his thing, incorporate his ideas and meet them halfway and compromise these things that seemingly maybe he wasn't able to do in WWE.
yeah.
I don't know. It's
Um,
Go ahead.
I mean, he speaks of a message. I'm not quite sure what that message would be and what other wrestling company would allow him to do that, especially with like we don't know what the message was. I'm not sure what it is. Like he speaks of this message. Fightful reported that he got into a heated argument with Vince McMahon because Vince had asked him to do something that he would never do, and he walked out, and he was never seen again. Um, it that seems to be where that stopped. I'm pretty sure he's not the first guy that's gotten into an argument with Vince. I just think that right now with what we see now, I think me and you pretty much agree. Like, we saw a lot with him. I think he's an asset anywhere he goes. I think if there's anyone that everyone says, oh, they wasted and floundered him, I think to an extent he was. But I also think that without him, we wouldn't get the in the bad stuff that you could say about his career. It always led to really kind of cool stuff too, which is kind of fucked up to say, but like with him getting injured led to Kofi Mania. We would have never had that moment, you know.
Right.
Brock coming back and doing that moment, that was a holy shit moment that I feel like kind of was bigger than whatever they probably would have had set for that. And again, like I hate to even say it like that, but it's like Brock is always like instant money. You know what I mean? It's instant people tuning in. It's instant people being interested and intrigued. Brock with the Money in the Bank was an intriguing, to me, was a more intriguing story going into it that also helped Seth Rollins. Now, however they chose to handle that after, we know what happened after that. That's on them. But if we didn't have Ali in those placements, we wouldn't have had those moments.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this question. What are your thoughts on him announcing it on Twitter? Announcing that he's requesting his release from the WWE.
Okay, so he's very online, all right?
Mm-hmm.
He's very, very online. We know this. A lot of wrestlers are very, very online. But I feel like these wrestlers know exactly what they're doing when they do this, when they announce news like this to such a sensitive fan base, a sensitive
Mm-hmm.
and rapid fan base. I'm not a big fan of it. It's almost like, hey, this is what we do. Like but that's just me. I tend to handle my stuff like in general in private, and you won't know until it's out. Like a lot of wrestlers do that. I feel like some wrestlers did that as well. Like I felt like when Oni Lorcan was released, he said that he requested his release after they granted it. Where's he at?
I don't know. I hope he's doing well.
It's been 90 days.
Has
Over 90 days.
it's probably
Yeah.
been. You sure? Maybe it's been like nah. He was releasing like I feel like December or November. But nonetheless, I mean, he was on NXT. Like, he should have a 30-day, but I actually don't know. I don't know. I don't like to pretend like I know the insides of his contract. I really don't know, but I hope he's doing well nonetheless. But I also probably would have handled it to me, moves like that scream, not necessarily like,
Leverage.
yo,
Leverage to me.
yeah, leverage. And so also it's very notable that like he's requested his release. Probably it was announced on Saturday? I guess Saturday. Long weekend, so maybe we haven't heard anything yet. Knowing our luck, he'll be released tomorrow.
Yeah. Or literally after we hit end on the show, he'll be
Yeah.
gone.
But he hasn't been released yet, and I think it's up to the company at this point to release. There's been news, especially regarding the Jeff Hardy thing and the Tony Storm thing. Tony Storm, who also requested her release a couple of weeks ago, that they essentially like they felt bad. It was like, yo, we can't not release them, especially we've been releasing like 1 million people thus far. Like, what is it? We've been releasing people due to budget cuts, and we're just not going to release them, and we're going to release some. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's something where they can't come to a compromise. Because I think,
What does he want?
yeah, I
You know?
mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, does he want to have this gimmick? Does he want to? At the end of the day, it's Vince McMahon's show. So at the end of the day, he has to control what's being placed. It's his thing to mold. Like, it's not up to Ali to say like, I want this character, I want to do this thing. It's really up to the approval of Vince McMahon. But I think they can come to a compromise if they really wanted to. If they really wanted to keep Ali, which I think they really should, because I think he's talented, and I can't say that they didn't put him in these positions, or at least attempted to put him in these positions because they didn't think he was talented. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He was
Had a moment at Crown Jewel a couple months ago too.
Yeah, and he had a WWE Championship match at like Fastlane a number of years ago. But in the midst of the Kofi Mania thing, he still had a WWE Championship match. I think it was Daniel Bryan versus Kevin Owens versus Ali.
Ali. Yeah.
So he still had that one. So it's not like they think he a scrub. they had the confidence with him to make him the leader of Retribution because it was this leader with no face, no group or something, and they wanted someone recognizable and strong to carry it. So they can't be like, oh, they didn't see the potential in him and they didn't do it. It's not necessarily one of those. So I would like to think that Vince McMahon, especially, someone who sees the worth in having, I guess, multicultural roster,
Yeah.
um, would want to necessarily get rid of that easily. But then again, we have no idea what's going to happen. I wish him the best in his future endeavors or just anything that happens in the future anyway. If he wants to get released, I'm interested to see if he's been promised is like, all right, well, this is a place where I can definitely do this, or this is a place where I can do that. I'm not sure at all, but knowing Ali.
I don't know what provocative messages in any other wrestling company that he could do that, like, I don't know. I just don't know what message he's trying to get out. I think we don't know. I guess we'll find out after he's gone. But
Yeah,
it seems like something that Vince is probably gonna try and smooth over, though. If he's that close with Vince, so
absolutely. Yeah.
we'll see. Um, Speaking of Vince, MLW, Major League Wrestling, filed a lawsuit against WWE, antitrust lawsuit, about WWE basically accusing them of trying to block certain movements and certain moves that MLW is trying to make on platforms such as Tubi, with companies such as Fox and Vice and stuff like that. The actual lawsuit stuff is very, very long. I did check it out, but it seems as though a lot of people are like whatever on this. Like no one's really taking this seriously at all.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't care. But like, if we're really being honest with you, and people outside seem to give a hoot about it. But yeah, I mean,
Well, one of the quote is literally, and this is why I don't think they have much to stand on, is then WWE executive warned Vice TV that Vince McMahon was pissed about Vice airing on MLW programming and that Vice TV should stop working with MLW. That's hearsay unless they have someone willing to testify that. Like the Court Bauer, who's head of MLW, saying that Vince McMahon's company has been depriving its competitors of critical opportunities for many years, further insisting that the rest of the pro wrestling world should come together to end this anti-competitive behavior. It states that WWE programmings have lost their popularity in the last 5 years due to inferior content, amongst other things. Thus, it targeted MLW with unlawful predatory conduct that included airing without authority MLW wrestling footage, which I have no clue on what show they did that on, persuading wrestlers under exclusive contracts with MLW to terminate these contracts, and encouraging MLW wrestlers to breach their contracts with MLW by disclosing MLW's confidential and proprietary business information.
Yeah, I'd have to see the receipts on that one. I have
Yeah,
no idea.
this just seems insane. I do know this. When you have people like Joey Janela, who is definitely not pro WWE in the least bit, saying, "Oh, this is bullshit. You guys underpaid talent, and you're way more like shifty and shisty than WWE is," then that should tell you when the talent's going against it, and they're openly going against it. Like they're laughing at this. Uh, WWE legal counsel Jerry McDevitt
Who wants to
responded.
retire? And what I saw was like, that man wants to retire, and Vince is like, nah, retire where,
He's
baby?
he's done. He's like, nigga, I'm giving you all this money. Uh, he said, I have not seen the full lawsuit since WWE has not been served. If Tubi breached, then sue Tubi. As to Vice, WWE has no commercial relationship with them, or for that matter, any of the other dozens of content distribution entities with whom MLW could do a deal with if they had a commercially viable product. If they put a show on Vice, if my memory serves me correctly, after one of the Dark Side shows and lost most of the audience, I think I read they got 40,000 viewers. No wonder Vice did no further deal.
Damn, barring him up, Jerry McDevitt, baby.
Went upside his head one real quick, rocked his jaw.
He's
But
like,
no,
I didn't
seriously,
watch that.
I don't think. Listen, AEW is a successful wrestling company. I don't think that the claim that WWE is stopping anyone from doing anything is stopping AEW from doing anything that they want to do.
No, I mean maybe like you can't
Maybe that
hold a show at MSG or something along those
yeah,
lines.
yeah, but every company, listen, companies do shit like this. It ain't fair. Microsoft just bought Activision Blizzard today.
I saw
You
70
know,
bill.
for $70 billion, and they're being cheeky on whether they're going to allow games like Call of Duty to be on other platforms. This is literally just what companies do. So if WWE, which is the big dog in the game with the money, says, "Hey, MSG, don't do that shit. We're going to give you Roman versus Brock on TV real
We're
quick."
paying you top dollar to have these exclusive shows. So
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. I don't see the I really don't see it. MLW is a product. I watched their show on Vice. I thought it was solid. Uh, what more can what more can you add here? I don't know if WWE hasn't been served, then I feel like this might be just some PRBS.
I
I
agree.
feel like this is just some like they're trying to get some. They're trying to get some.
Cool internet points, stuff that everyone
Yeah.
else is doing on the internet. Like it's so whack.
No one's going for it though, which is why it's funny. To, I'm
Dude, because this is the age that we live in. It's like it's so weird. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we're about to talk about another story where I guess the internet kind of rolled off of control, but it's so annoying the fact that every time it's just like this contrarian opinion. It's like it's kind of being used to not necessarily because like I don't think with the company, but like y'all don't feel that it's weird that y'all like demonize. Y'all don't demonize the same every company the same way they do. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Y'all don't demonize. I mean, there's black champions here, black champions there, but there's none here and some there. And WWE is really the only one with kind of any history to stand on because a lot of majority of these companies are still been made within the last decade. So there's not really a lot to go from, but no one bats an eye of like, listen, it's
I
2000.
saw the I saw the diversity thing come up for Ali wanting his release, and I was like, guys, I was like, if you couldn't miss the point anymore.
And people thinking like, yo, we're like championing this company and it, but the realizing that like, yo, y'all gotta really take a look at like everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that we're championing this company and the reason why we're defending these moves is because it's like, oh, this is our favorite thing. But it's also like, yo, take a real look at the landscape around us and realize that not things aren't really that much better out there.
Mhm.
To be real with you. And this is a company that's actively trying to do these things. And people like, don't support the company, support the wrestlers. I'm supporting everybody who puts like we just had this situation that you know maybe we'll talk about next week on the Patreon and stuff like that, where it's like obviously one
We're
of the
definitely, we're definitely gonna talk about the situation because I feel like I feel like certain people need to know what we're trying to do,
but
and
they're
obviously,
but they're supporting their company and
yeah,
despite everything that has been done or has been recently or something like that, they're still supporting the company.
yeah. And the reason why I don't want to like make it public because it's just something, but we like being transparent to our listeners and what we're trying to do and how we're trying to grow our company of the A Show. And I think it would be important for people to know. So next week we're going to talk about it. It's just too new. It literally just happened before we recorded today. But speaking of more controversy and stuff, WWE 2K22, the box art leaked. And the thing that's funny with me with this is that it's been pretty patently obvious that it was going to be this person. It was going to be Ray on the cover.
I mean, I have no idea. I don't really follow all these things, but if it
Well, the
was,
leak there's been leaks, and the leaks were pretty much pointing people into that direction, and it was they've been leaks about it, and it came out that he was on the cover. There's a bunch of pre-order stuff. Obviously, this is a much anticipated game. It's been 2 years almost since the 2K game has come out after the debacle that was
2020.
2K20. Yeah, 2K20. And a lot of people were like, "Well, where's Sasha?" And I said, "Wait, what?" I literally was like, "Wait, what?"
Yo, the internet's so fucking weird, bro. Like, it just is what it is. Like, who told y'all that Sasha Banks was gonna be on this cover of this video game?
I have no clue how that was even I had never seen leaks that even said that. The only leaks of this game that I saw was that it was going to be Ray or it was going to be a legend on the front.
And people are suddenly like, "Yo, people don't know who Rey Mysterio is," and I'm like, "Bro, are you dumb? Are you? Are
Oh, that guy
you,
got packed out. He got packed out.
bruh?" As he should have, because to ask that people don't know who Rey Mysterio is. Rey Mysterio is one of the most popular professional wrestlers of all time, all
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
all time. And he's still wrestling today. He's 47 years old and he still wrestles today. And he's still one of the most popular wrestlers today. I've seen this man show up at the Royal Rumble. He wasn't even with the company, show up and got a mega pop just because. He is one
Mhm.
of the most popular, recognizable wrestlers of all time. And that is why he's on the cover. Because,
And this isn't to say that Sasha won't be there in a couple years,
yeah, but
but do
this
you
is the
they
direction that they're going.
well, it's not WWE's choice. It's 2K's choice. At the
Right.
end of the day, they're the ones licensing the fucking shit. And also, just because 2K20 had Roman and Becky on the cover doesn't mean that they're gonna go and do it the same way.
But I think it's also like it's marketing and how they choose to go about this thing. Like when you have Roman and Becky on the cover, you're inviting and say like, "Yo, listen, we're creating this opportunity for both male and female wrestlers, and we're establishing this, so we need a female on the cover to be able to do this." When you do something like 2K22, if they're putting Rey Mysterio on the cover, you're saying like, "Yo, this is some legendary shit. This is some next
Yeah.
level. We have to really pop back out because it's been 2 years. We had to do this in development. We pushed back the game again. We really got to do some legendary stuff. And who's better than the legend of Rey Mysterio?" That's kind of how I see it.
No, it's definitely really weird. I saw it. I saw people getting super mad about it, but it's
Yeah,
like,
and it started a discourse, and I'm like, "Yo, are y'all buying the game or not? Who cares?"
yeah, yeah,
Who
yeah.
cares? Like I nothing not everything has to be a fight about one thing or the other. I swear to God. Like even down to the Ali thing, it's like me and you, I think we didn't really personally get involved because one, it was the weekend.
Yeah, that's number one.
I think you were doing great things over the weekend. I saw on the Instagram, I think you were getting measured for tuxes and stuff.
Yeah, I was doing good stuff.
Yeah.
I was living life. Like we say, like when we come off this show, like that's it.
God
You know
bless.
what I'm saying?
It is the weekend. I just recovered from COVID. I'm going outside for a little bit to do things. I need to get stuff done. When that
Right.
news happened, I was returning stuff for Christmas that I hadn't been able to return in weeks. Um, so I didn't get involved, but people want to make it a discourse online. I bet they're gonna say he ran from the grind. It's not.
Nah.
This is not.
He
One
in
doesn't
fact
equal the other. He was
what
the definition of the grind.
he was the definition of the grind. Who's saying this? Like it's completely different. When we say, obviously it's a little facetious when we talk about Adam Cole running from the grind, but when we say that, it means that Adam Cole didn't even try. Mustafa Ali definitely tried and was given everything that, we're not given everything, but he took everything that was given to him and he toughed it out. I give anyone respect for that. If it ain't working, you gotta go. What do you like? I didn't understand that either. I was like, listen, man, and I don't even think that was pointed directly like at us, so to speak. But like
Mhm.
we have said the term at times, but it's like I'm just tired of being a lightning rod for stuff when all we do is just talk our shit on this show or on Twitter. Like it's whack. Like
I agree. I
like
agree.
we're not trying to cause to draw ire from you people.
Yes, I
I'm
really
just
don't care.
yeah. I'm
I
looking at
was
my brother right.
right. I was talking to so I'm gonna be on Patreon, one of Tiger Driver's upcoming shows on Patreon where they're actually talking about my Miz fandom. And I said that on this, like, yo, I just talk shit on the internet. Like this isn't I critique my own views and how I experience things, and it's not meant to incite. I don't do things to incite. I do things because I feel like it. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna engage. It is what it is. Like we're not standing here and we're not going to sit here and go back and forth with people and go through our mentions one by one and start going at people because we don't have time for that. We have real lives.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna do that. But sidebar, going back to the Rey Mysterio thing, like this doesn't have to become an argument. It's a video game, and the cover isn't even out yet. And are you getting it? Do you think we haven't even seen the gameplay yet? Like, relax.
They will never relax. One more thing before we get to the break and get to the shows.
Sure.
Uh, Elimination Chamber is coming to Saudi Arabia in February. It's official Saturday. Another Saturday pay per view. Nick Khan is not fucking playing with these shits, bro.
How did they get to Saudi Arabia on Saturday after Friday Night SmackDown?
I think you do a skeleton crew of people who will not be on the show, and you rock with it that way. I would
We
imagine.
really got to see Madcap versus
Madcap versus Ricochet again.
2 out of 3
Gonna run.
falls.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, good on them. This is the first time Elimination Chamber will be outside of the US. I just think it's kind of odd to keep the elimination part of it. You should probably change that part. It's
I mean, hey, listen, yeah, yeah.
I just don't think it's I think it's a just objectively terrible to keep elimination in that name, considering where you're going and what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, good news for them. Saturday pay per views, man. I don't hate them.
Listen, 10 out of 10 would do again. How about that?
Especially after day one, I was like, shit. I felt
Yeah,
energized.
because Mania is on Sunday this year, and I'm just like, bro, it's about to be 9 million hours long.
It'll be short. I felt like last year's Mania was relatively short on the second day. First night was pretty long though. Let's just go right into the shows. I don't feel like we need a break today.
Yeah, why not?
We're running long. SmackDown. Thought it was a better show than most weeks, but I can't help but feel the malaise of them not having much for SmackDown.
You're doing a lot to avoid the thing that I've said from the beginning, that SmackDown got fleeced completely. They have no character on this show outside of Roman Reigns. They have no like, how can I say this, root into the ground. It is a Roman Reigns segment, multiple. It is Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin doing something that makes me want to turn the TV off. And there's just so much more. A Charlotte thing. They're continuing Naomi versus Sonya Deville, which I think needs to get to a certain... We're at the point of the story where this has been going on so long, it needs to reach some sort of inflection point where something happens. We can't just wait till WrestleMania for something to happen. And you can't just keep Naomi getting sort of lambasted or, odds of being thrown in Sonya Deville's way. You can't just keep having it happen. Something has to change, you know? But Lita was on SmackDown, so that was cool.
She looked great.
She looked
great.
Amazing, yeah. I was like, wow, look at that. I thought she was
Really?
going to age like trash, but she's doing all right for herself.
Yeah, she had a pretty good segment with Charlotte. People were upset the way Charlotte sold the Twist of Fate. And I said, listen,
yeah. I mean, it was pretty bad.
He was wearing a Disney on Ice outfit and some heels.
She thought she was.
And if I'm her, I'm not letting on my chest in that outfit. She's not properly, she wasn't properly, protected. I wouldn't do that either.
I mean, Twist of Fate, Twist of Fate's you really have a multitude of seconds to decide how you want to take that move.
Well, but I'm saying, Meelz,
and a lot of people have taken it on their hands, where it's just like, and then spiked up on their head as if it was like spiking their head down. But yeah, you can kind of do whatever. But no, I agree. But also, it was pretty bad. So
I looked at it and said, I wouldn't have took it either. I would have took that shit either. I like that they're stacking the deck against Charlotte in the Rumble here.
I like that Charlotte Lita has a story. I like that Lita wants to go to WrestleMania, because with a lot of these nostalgia picks, and there are definitely some critiques online of like, why did they announce the surprises? It's like, for moments like this, idiot.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of back and forth, but I think for her to have the story of like, I want to go to WrestleMania and I want to compete in WrestleMania, and I think I got one more run in me. I don't think we see that if it's a surprise nostalgic run. If that's the case, they're more used as props more than having their own story of wanting to go to WrestleMania. And even Mickie James, she was on Ariel Helwani's show, which I actually listened to a couple days before this, and she was like, yo, I want to I want to go to WrestleMania. I want to take the Impact World Championship to WrestleMania, champion versus champion type of thing. So
That'd be tight. That'd be good for Impact, and I feel like a moment where WWE could use some of their shine to put shine on someone else, which is what I feel like a lot of people say they don't do.
mm-hmm.
And I think it would just be a moment that would just be like, wow, like you would just watch it for how monumental it is, because they used to do shit like this in territories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're going to take it back to that day and they're going to call AEW the next day, but it's a moment where it's like they can pick and choose when to make that type of decision make sense. And I think that Mickey's like the perfect gateway, because people are familiar with her on that show and people are familiar with her on Impact as well. So that'd be kind of tight.
Two things for AEW that we actually missed. One, it was reported by Fightful that Lita had considered an AEW run at some point in the past.
Leverage.
Worked out.
Leverage.
And then second, completely whiffed that Cody Rhodes is a free agent.
Yeah, we got in the weeds with the other stuff. Yeah, the Cody Rhodes thing, and it actually dropped before we recorded the show too, which was kind of rare. But being reported that Cody Rhodes is not under contract with AEW anymore. He's actually working as a free agent, working without a contract, and he's the current TNT champion. And that is talent and EVP. So he's actually not even executive anymore there either.
That is so weird.
I said this to you the other day. I don't know how it's smart for them to have given these guys 2-3 year deals, because if you remember correctly, the Bucks also resigned, and I would imagine Kenny Omega probably resigned sometime, or he's either coming up soon, or he's resigned before that and we just don't know it yet. But they resigned until like 2025, 2026. Who's getting 3-year EVP / talent deals if you're building this company? That doesn't make any sense. You would at least put them onto 5-year deals, right? That would have made more sense to me.
I don't think you can have even a sustainable company in 5 years. Like, to me, it's like if you're trying to establish these practices and a lot of stuff like that, it takes more than 5 years. It takes a lot more than 2019 to 2021. I'll tell you that. Like, it's just that was just, to me, the EVP one being also 3 years. I was like, wait, so was he an EVP like how does the EVP have a 3-year in my brain? But maybe it's my own naive thing, but like how does the EVP only have a 3-year deal? I would imagine they would be on until they decide they want to step down, or they've been voted out by the board of directors or something along those lines. Or Tony Khan.
They're not public. They're not public, so like they don't even have that. So
yeah, 3-year deals. But yeah, that's so weird. So a lot of people are now speculating what Cody will probably do. You'd have to like resign, right?
I don't know. Other than resign, like where's he gonna? I mean, you're not gonna.
He's gonna. We're not doing that 6-minute entrance on at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because I mean, if this motherfucker did this to get leverage to go somewhere else and have like the Roman Reigns type look,
his wife is still EVP though. His wife is still in the. I don't know. This is very weird. Not to say that you have to follow your wife, but it's like, huh?
I don't know, bro. I don't like. That's why I was like, other than the shock of it being, true and that happening and all of that, like, I just can't see. Oh, my bad.
All right,
sorry.
All good.
My phone's connected to the board.
Is Reese calling back?
No. But like, other than the shock, I don't think that it's gonna end up with anything but him returning to AEW. I don't.
It's all to me and nothing. His entrance cracks me up every time, bro.
But yeah, that was our. I'm pretty sure Quan and Cyrus will have.
Oh yeah,
more to talk with that on
Friday.
On Friday, but Aaliyah broke her record on SmackDown. I love that she referenced throwing up. I was like, because I was pretty sure that was the reason why she wasn't on TV.
2 months. It took her on Survivor Series. It took her everything. It was like, when you grow up, you come back to us.
Throwing up, clean that shit up.
When you get your bib or figure it out, we're gonna send you to Dr. We're gonna send you to a couple of doctors. Once you figure that thing out, then you can come back.
Um, last segment with
Wait, not last segment. We got to go through the best segment.
what
Got
was
to.
that? Oh, the Sami Zayn segment.
Sami Zayn
Yes,
thing was tremendous. Are you kidding me? What?
he has an uncanny ability to really get the crowd to hate him.
The celebrity whisperer, man.
He knows what to do. I thought that him doing the knockoff jackass music,
Insane.
the knockoff jackass music, the getting the guys to help him, and then him being like, "Oh no, wait, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it." Like such a great, like he's not gonna do it, but you're wondering how far he's gonna let this bit go, and then you see how far it's like, all right, that was fantastic. I thought it was a really really good segment. Um, what's for Mania with Sammy?
Anything he wants, man. At this point, who's a celebrity for WrestleMania? That's really kind of is. It's the world is his oyster. He can do whatever he wants because he is such. He's one of those malleable talents. I was talking about the same thing as Ali. He's the same one where it's just like he can do anything, like anything. If he wants to be Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania, he can do that. If he wants to be in a battle royal, he can do that. If he wants to come up with a tag team partner and be a tag team champion, he can do that. If he wants to fight a celebrity, he can do that. Sami Zayn can do anything.
He's the GOAT.
He's a goat. Couple other notes from SmackDown, real quick before you think. What do you? I guess we already talked about the Naomi thing, but I thought it was like interesting that she turned up the heat in the room for her to take off her jacket for her to beat her up, and then she didn't even get to beat her up.
They're stretching it out a little too long, but I
Yeah,
think it's.
the money here would have been to beat her up.
Because I don't get why you have Zia Lee come out and then just have her do. Zia Lee's done damn near every house show since she debuted on SmackDown, and has not been on the main show. I don't get what the. I'm guessing they're rewriting things around Tony and Sasha being gone.
Nah, that's stupid. I don't know. I don't know. Figure it out. Figure it out, ladies. And then just one more note. Ricochet gets beat by Sheamus. I do not understand what's the constant beating of what. My only problem with Sheamus has been we have Sheamus win a lot, and it
Yeah,
leads nowhere.
yeah.
It literally leads to nothing.
He wins a lot to lose to one guy and then beats everyone else again.
Yeah.
It's like weird. Like last year, he won a lot just to get beat by Damian Priest. Then he continued to win again.
Getting beaten by Drew McIntyre, getting beat by Matt, or he beats Matt Riddle at WrestleMania. A lot of wins here. Then he loses to Damian Priest, and then he continues to keep winning and winning and winning. Like it doesn't. I'm so confused in the direction of his character, but I'm sorry that Ricochet continues to have to just give. I know they want to do something with him because
he got new music.
Yeah,
he got new music.
Damn, I was like, damn. I loved One and Only, but I know they want to do something with him, but they just haven't done anything with him, and I'm just like, yo, this is insane. Yeah, we get to the final segment now.
Final segment between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. It was good. It was fine. I know a lot of people are like, whoa, shit, it's crazy. I was like, it was.
You hear Roman sneak out the little
the N-word.
He was like,
Roman is definitely someone who is exactly who we think he is off of the
TV. And the Usos are too.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
100%.
And then Solo Sikoa, all of it, man. Listen.
I don't really know what much to say about that. Like they pretty much the same. Hey, he had a Booker T moment, man.
Listen, he had a moment.
You better watch that shit. You better watch that shit, man.
They cut it out the replay, but the fact they had to know because they cut it out the replay. They didn't even he didn't even really say it. He was like,
he ain't even half. He's not even half black. He better relax.
Yeah, I agree. He better relax.
Yeah, he needs to relax. I know he was feeling good. Like I know stuff was like, ooh, nigga, you don't tell me that when we in the whip. But yeah, he need to chill. Of course, he hits below the belt with the Becky comment, dodges the Usos. This match is gonna be good. I don't think I need to be sold on it anymore.
Yeah, not really. I don't really need to be sold on it. Yeah.
Let's go to Raw.
Okay.
Long show.
Ooh, lots of
heavily dragged at the 10 o'clock hour, I will say.
You know, it had some stuff on there.
That's some stuff.
Things happened.
I want to get to the top of what I really enjoyed from the show, and that was the Alpha Academy segment. I've been wanting to talk about this.
It was tremendous. I mean, what do you
Chad Gable has it, all right?
He's been waiting for it, man. He's been waiting. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. When everyone says all nice things about Chad Gable, this is the moment they're referring to. This moment where he's able to stand in front of a crowd and command it, despite it. Like, yo, he's 5'6". It's like, who at the end of the day, they're characters. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, he's an incredibly talented wrestler, an incredibly talented entertainer, and we're glad he had the moment to show this in this very over the top, ridiculous ass segment.
Yeah, it's always in ring that we hear from it, but I think that the one intangible that you have to be good at this company is being able to do segments like that and do them completely straight face. Is completely ridiculous. Of course, Riddle brings it, and that's why he's so successful. Is because he brings it during these ridiculous segments, and it doesn't seem like he does. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Nia Jax always seemed like she never wanted to do shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which on the outset, yeah, you're right. It's pretty stupid. Some of the shit she had to do, but if you just go ahead and do it, like you start to get more opportunities there, and that's just what it is. But I thought it was great. I thought Otis was great. I know you're not a fan of Otis, but I think he's really playing the part here. He's really great in this role.
You popped big for the moment where they announced that next week we're gonna have an academic. What's it called? An academic
showcase or academic showdown. Yeah.
And my nigga's eyes, it was like, yo.
He was like, wait. He said, hold on. He said, whoa.
Oh my god,
brother. Hey, you got to relax on that one, bro. Nah, that was great. I think if you keep Otis to that type of stuff, then it's good. Like, I was a little bit like, wow, man, why? But now I'm like, okay, I see it. These are gonna be like, they're gonna be what we want them to be.
yes,
you know, they're gonna be what we want them to be in terms of like in and comedy.
Hottest program on the show.
It is. I listen. I would. I would say that I agree with you now that Riddle and Randy are kind of the top two acts on the show, probably top 5 in the company. These guys are huge.
They are. Listen, it's gotten to the point. This is I don't know if this is going to be a hot take or not. It's gotten to the point where if Drew McIntyre is not in this Royal Rumble, which I don't expect him to be, it has to be either Randy or Riddle. It's just too powerful. It's too strong to not let this go on. And I mean, Riddle versus Brock, Randy versus Brock, Randy versus Roman, Riddle versus Roman. Listen, man. Hey. Listen. It speaks for itself.
Are we ready for that? Are we ready for that dialogue when it happens, though? Because I really do believe Riddle is going to have a title by the end of the year.
It could happen. I'm just letting you know. Yeah. Very well could happen.
I feel like once that case got closed and he was found, like, you know, they dropped it. He was found, you know what I'm saying? There basically was no case anymore. His push started. He was like floundering before that. He wasn't really doing much before that.
To the moon, that's what baby.
I think. That's, and I said it on the show that I felt like when that case got cleared up, it, you know, if it ended bad for him, he'd be gone. If it ended, you know, favorable for him, then they would probably do what they wanted to do since he debuted in 2020. They debuted him during like the height of the pandemic, and they made vignettes for him and everything. There was a big deal for him that first night he was on the show. He faced AJ, I think, or something like that first night.
Yeah.
Like, they've always had big ideas for this guy, and I think that they've kept it low because of the issues he had outside the ring. And then now when it went away, they started giving him stuff. And they moved shows. He wasn't around Roman. He wasn't around anyone that could be a liability for working with him. And now it's like, okay, they feel like it's okay to just come out with this. And I feel like it's going to cause a big conversation. You know, we largely tried to keep the Riddle conversation to just his in ring stuff, but it's going to be hard to deny the out of the ring stuff that he was accused for, whether the case was dropped or not. If he was to win the Royal Rumble or to win a title in this company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What else do you want to talk on? Because there's a lot of stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw, actually.
Uh, almost having literally no direction after leaving AJ, which
I expected. I mean,
yeah,
his direction is eliminating 7 people in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Good. No AJ on the show, which leads more credence to me thinking that he's going to be an NXT guy after this, after the Rumble. Nikki Cross or Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley has continued
their feud. They try to incorporate Carmella and Zelina into this. You know why? Because they have no contenders. They are a tag team champion without a division. There is no competition for them currently.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one. We've broken up them all. Break these girls up too. Actually, no. I'm pretty sure they're lying in the wait because the Bellas will challenge for these championships the minute they can.
Absolutely. They're going to beat them for the championships at WrestleMania. Let's just be clear.
I don't even think we got to wait till WrestleMania, to be honest with you. It might happen in Saudi Arabia. Can't believe, we just had the opportunity to go to Saudi Arabia and just wrestle in front of girls and show them that we can win tag team championships too. Something along those lines. Oh my God.
What was that?
I don't know.
It's crazy. So, here's my thing. Get Rhea Ripley into a singles program and let her rock, because I think that she's going to be great. However, we got to talk about something else with the women. Doudrop, Becky, Bianca, Liv Morgan. They giving Liv them clean pins, boy. Like, them clean pins is serious, and it seems to me that it's clear that the direction is going to be, it's really going to be Doudrop, Bianca, Becky for the time being, and I'm cool with that. I thought that the tag match was really solid. I thought they worked really fast, and I think that, again, we're starting the storyline tidbits of Bianca is noticing that Becky's scared of her and that she's ducking her, so we're starting that early. Bianca declared for the Royal Rumble. Doudrop is looking like a force that Becky needs to be reckoned with. I thought that was really good. They're giving a lot to Doudrop. I think Doudrop's she's the one to watch for me this year. I think in terms of the women's division, she's the one to watch.
No, I agree. I think she's been phenomenal in the position that she's been put in. And there's nothing more I can say. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Rumble. They're making her look strong heading into there. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it. I didn't have much for the opening women's segment besides Bianca Belair is now officially, the rocket is strapped.
Yeah, she's back. She's like, hey y'all, I know y'all miss me, but I'm back.
Main character here.
Yeah.
Here I am. Yeah. Also a big moment on Monday Night Raw. Damian Priest finally pinned
by Kevin Owens. That's what happens when you resign, baby.
I mean, a good thing would have been to get the championship, but I guess he couldn't get that, put in his contract. But he beats Damian Priest, U.S. champion. But however, Damian Priest didn't go ape or jackal or whatever animal or beast that he thinks. But nonetheless, Kevin Owens pinned Damian Priest. Could be another United States Championship reign coming down the pipeline.
I can see it happening. I think that KO doesn't go without a belt that long. I think this is like the longest stretch that he has not had a title since he got called up. So it has to be. He hasn't had a title since like 2019. This has been the longest stretch.
That's a long time.
Yeah. He hasn't had a title in a long, long time. And so I think that it's good. Because my thing is this. I think it's Damian and Edge at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
They keep doing the Brood stuff for a reason.
I don't know, man. I'll have to see.
Programs that it doesn't make sense. Even in programs where it doesn't make sense. You're going to get the Damian versus the Brood. The Damian. How do you like them calling it the Damian?
That's nasty. I don't like that.
All with the Damien.
I don't like that. I could see it happening, but also I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I could see it happening, but I'm not really sure as of yet. Damian Priest. I need to see the trajectory move a little bit faster, move a little bit quicker, something along those lines, and see where we lead to the Edge thing. But I think it definitely could happen.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that,
Well, Edge needs somebody. Yeah. What do you feel about this segment here? She
whew,
got hit with a brick. Hit that bitch with a brick.
10 out of 10 would do it again. That was awesome, man. I thought that was,
They've been killing it. It's a simple build. It's a simple build that's banking on Edge wanting to do this. I think win or lose, I think Edge wins here, just as a person being able to be with his wife.
you know, I talk about 2008 through like 2013 or 2007 through 2013 and not remember everything that happened, but I'm glad that these women, at least of the Divas era, get to actually showcase something. It was like, yeah, we were actually badass at the time, because the way Maurice kind of carried that crowd. No Miz was there, by the way. Not that she needs it, but the way she was able to say, like, I have a microphone, I can be louder than you, and really carry that. It's genuine heat to the point where you don't have to come out and, gosh, you know what? Let me not even do that. I was about to say
Go ahead,
something.
go say it.
No, I
Yeah.
was about to say something about black belts, but um, I think she was able to carry this crowd very, very well, and I think this was a layup for Edge and Beth Phoenix, and this is going to take them to the next level when they eventually have this match. And I think it adds a lot of heat to this match. So I think everyone's doing a great job heading into this. Like, this is fantastic.
Yeah. It's been good. I just want to get to the match. I think it's like,
What do you mean?
and
Mariah's birthday's next week.
oh god, I think Novak said it was, the product just feels stale right now, and
WWE
I think there's
TV feels stale. I can't say the same for this. I look forward to this segment. Maybe it's just me,
right.
but I do agree everything else was stale. For instance, Finn Balor versus Austin Theory. One, I get we have to have Austin Theory win, but Finn Balor just got back. My son just got back. Like, just got back from doing nothing. And we immediately don't care about him. Or at least I don't. So I thought that was weird. The Almost versus Reggie thing, the Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley
Well,
thing.
this thing with Finn is that now that report comes out, now they're saying, now he's saying, uh, now he's saying, or Meltzer's saying, well, they're not going to put, they're using Finn in the Jeff Hardy position, and I'm like, what? I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Two, this is literally just a reaction to him losing last night, which again was it's a weird loss,
It's
but
a
it's
weird
like,
loss, but I guess it had to happen. I mean,
yeah,
I
and,
think he beat Theory before he went on break.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Booking is so
But
whack. Ugh.
I hate 50-50, but yes, you're right. It's 50-50 booking. But it's also like, listen, Finn can lose. He loses often. Was it okay that he lost to Seth Rollins a month ago too? Like no one said anything about it. My thing is this, like, yes, Finn has his fans, but no one was talking about him and no one gave a shit a couple months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, after he lost to Roman, he was still like losing matches after that. No one was in an uproar about that at that point. Like, Finn is where he is, but usually when we get reports about people saying, where they say basically they have nothing for them, they usually end up winning the fucking title or something because like, that's just the way the company goes.
My thing is that we're doing this thing with Austin Theory, which I completely get, and Vince McMahon, and I still think this is. I think they're really buying up my concept of, like, this Vince McMahon only exists in Austin Theory's head, and I truly believe it now.
Because Finn hasn't even come into the office.
Yeah. Where are they doing all this stuff at? But just, I don't know. I just want SmackDown is open. You realize SmackDown has nothing?
Yeah.
SmackDown has nothing. Please send that man. I know he just got beat by Roman, so you don't really want to do that over again because he got beat in embarrassing fashion.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. You don't even want to address that again. But SmackDown needs somebody. Please send one of them over. Send a couple of them over. There's so much good talent on Raw. You can give some to SmackDown. You can have them do something. But yeah, I don't know. It just felt weird. I mean, I would just the to me it's 50-50 booking. I didn't really like the Finn Balor Austin Theory thing. I didn't like it because Finn Balor just came back. I felt like they could have had a segment where maybe they advanced this or something along those lines. But I didn't like it. It's like, all right, well, back to what you were doing. Lose to that motherfucker.
Yeah.
It just felt weird.
Yeah, very very weird. We'll see what happens. Again, give it a few. But I thought it was like whatever. I was just like, y'all clearly don't want to give him the title. I don't know I don't know what's advocating for this guy. I
Yeah, I'm
think
not
that
sure neither because I'm like, yo, why? If his contract was up per se, I don't know where else he would fucking go. I know that's correct.
I honestly like Finn Balor in AEW does not. Finn Balor in WWE isn't exciting me right now, and him in another company doesn't excite me either. Like it's what would be different than in another company than what he was doing in NXT a year ago? Nothing. Same matchups. He's still going to work the same way. He don't do like the crazy indie shit no
The
more. He
thing
works.
the thing is, even if you go to AEW, it's like the competition is so not. It's the
Yeah.
competition really that's really not up to par, in my opinion. Because watch Dynamite the other day, and we literally had Matt Hardy versus what the fuck is his name? Oh my god, it was Matt Hardy versus no, I need to remember his name because it's very important because just how things ended up was fucking stupid. Dynamite Matt Hardy versus was it Darby Allin? No. Who the fuck was this guy? Oh, Penta.
Oh yeah, Penta L Zero.
So they had that. Then they had um Aleister Black come out for no reason. He's not involved in a feud with any of these guys. So he comes out. He gets jumped because then the other what's my man's name? Son of the guy. Fucking he's the son. Brian Pillman's
Pillman.
son.
Pillman. Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, Brian Pillman Jr. So he comes out and they jump Aleister Black. So Aleister Black, who had nothing to do with this, he comes in, he gets jumped, and the other person comes in, gets jumped too. And then they all do this just so they could debut Brody King, which to me made no sense. So I'm looking at like if you go to AEW, for instance, like if you're a fan or something, you're expecting a level of competition, like yeah, there's Daniel Bryan there. Yeah, there's Adam Cole there, but you face Adam Cole a million fucking times. You don't need to face Adam Cole no more.
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly, been there, done that. Bobby Fish, why even bother? But what do you do? So to me, I would hope they figure it out in WWE because his main roster, I feel like he showed how much more he could do on NXT, and there's a reason why he went to NXT. So please let him show what he can do because
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be the same thing it was before he left. It really doesn't. And I feel like he would just dip, to be honest with you. If it was up to Finn Balor and he was like renew his contract, I feel like he wouldn't resign because he almost didn't resign the first time.
Right.
That
Last segment.
Go ahead.
Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins.
Oh, first of all,
Is it me? Does it feel like the MVP is going to turn on Bobby, and then he's actually the one calling the hurt business on him?
oh yeah,
right
you
now?
probably will. First of all, that Lesnar Lashley video set package. I'm not sure if you saw it.
I saw it.
Oh
yeah.
my god,
it's really good.
Oh my god.
If you don't know who Brock Lesnar is, like I want to send that to Cyrus because you know we're doing legendary run. No, seriously, we're doing legendary run and we're doing Batista, and we were talking about we're gonna that this will be on the 8th of February, but we're doing like just basic research and stuff like that, and we're talking about who's come and who's come before him. And I'm like, yo, the Brock Lesnar run, was so massive that when they lost him, the company was lost. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see why in that video package he was he was a game changer for the
Yeah,
WWE.
yeah. Brock Lesnar, such a large eclipse to the point where I don't think they generally saw it in John Cena or Batista until Brock Lesnar left.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I think they would have been perennial. Like, I think Batista would have been just strong muscle guy, big backup for Ric Flair. John Cena would have continued to do what he was doing in the mid card, but it wasn't until Brock Lesnar left and there's such a massive void in the main event scene because they had spent the last 2 years really building everything around Brock Lesnar. He won the championship in 6 months from The Rock.
Five. Five.
5 from The Rock. He held the WWE Championship for the majority of his run on the main roster. For those 2 years, he held the WWE Championship for the majority of that time. And then they lose him, so they're forced to make new stars. And I like how they did it with like, oh, Brock Lesnar leaves, and then Lashley comes in. But Lashley wasn't
Yeah.
able to find that shit neither.
Yeah. It's one-on-one. That's why when people say like, I don't get why Brock had to win the Money in the Bank. I don't get why Brock had to beat Big E. Brock isn't someone that just
He's not a regular nigga.
yeah, he just fly by night. You know what I'm saying? We don't have anyone like him, and we probably never will find anyone like him again.
There's nothing that exists like Brock Lesnar that has existed in WWE before and afterwards. Maybe before, maybe in like WWF days where it's like Bruno was the man and he really sold all those seats in Madison Square Garden. But Brock, in terms of modern, there's no one like him. Like,
yeah, there's no. There might be people.
Stone Cold and The Rocks and all this other stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's not like Brock Lesnar. They were not like Brock Lesnar.
And I hate that this became like a Brock Lesnar like love fest, but like
Brock Lesnar legendary run coming soon.
He's different, man. And I was telling Cyrus, I was like, if we were to do one on him, I don't even know what year you would do. You could do his rookie year, but then you could do the year after that when he was a heel. Or you know what I'm saying? Like you could do so many. You could do his return. You could do the after the streak. You could do this run. Like there's so many times where he's come back and just completely upended everything that's going on and shaking shit up that, it's crazy. Like you could literally just do a whole thing on him and Roman because that's a huge deal. So yeah, that was a great video package. It actually kind of exemplified why this was such a big deal and why this match is going to be such a big deal when it happens next weekend. So I thought it was a really good match. Of course, Hurt Business comes out and they attack Bobby. Then the Usos come out and attack Seth. That ends the show. But I do think that they're gonna a different direction with Bobby post Rumble. I think it's going to be something going on with the Hurt Business. They might introduce. What if they put Almost in MVP's corner?
Ooh, Bobby versus Almost at Mania.
That could be something.
That could be something. That could be something.
Yeah.
Could Bobby put the Hurt Lock on this big ass nigga?
I think that's my thing. I think if you want to get Bobby over, and if you want to make Bobby like this big face, is that you have him beat the Giant. You have him beat that guy. I think that to me,
that's sexy.
No brainer to have Bobby beat Almost because it's almost like,
or just face Almost. I don't know if he necessarily has to beat him because I'm pretty sure they might go with Almost, to be honest with you. But I think that match is just quality in terms of it's the one rare occasion where Bobby has to overcome something.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely right.
Well, we've wasted too much of you guys' time already.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening to the A Show. Next week we'll be talking about Royal Rumble. We'll be doing our predictions for Royal Rumble. Also giving away we're giving away Are we going to give away the details before the Royal Rumble? We probably should.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we'll be announcing the Royal Rumble pool next week. Trust me, you're going to want to be a Patreon because you'll have 2 opportunities. That's all I'll say about that.
Okay.
But you're going to want to be a patron to if you want to enter this Royal Rumble pool. If you don't, it's fine. It's still going to be standard fare for the most part, but we will get more into it next week. Last year, we had a very, very interesting thing. I thought only 30 people would sign up. I was painfully wrong. Um, so shout out to the support that we got for last year. But yeah, that's kind of what we got. Make sure you guys follow and subscribe. Of course, we have patreon.com/ the A Show RNC, where you can find the Rewriters Room this week. You can find the War Report this week. And on February 8th, you can listen to Legendary Run Batista, hosted by Justin Davis and Cyrus. And of course, I'm still plotting in my brain of something else to do, because it's been a while since the Invasion Diaries, and I kind of got the hankering for something, and it's a little bit, it's WrestleMania season coming up, so I'm thinking of some things. And then also make sure you follow us on Twitter at the HORNC, where you can stay tuned for everything that we got going on. You get on the shows and what we're talking about and what we're tweeting about and all the et cetera like that. And yeah, follow the podcast, Apple's podcast, Spotify, all the other things. Make sure you follow all the RNC radio shows this week. Of course, we continue the return of our Euphoria-based show. Run the name back. Overly medicated. I listened to it yesterday. Did you see my comments yesterday?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay, all right.
Well, I didn't agree.
All right,
but
all right, fuck you. RSPN is out. The A Show is out. Black Variant is out. The Lookout is out. Big Eyes Podcast is out. The War Report will be out on Friday. Stay tuned, stay ready. And then also, I'm assuming at some point we'll have, because I listened to this episode of the Black Print and I was like, man, this is awesome. How frequent is that? When is that coming out again?
Every other week. We're gonna announce something, or we're announcing Patreon stuff next week, next Monday, and we have a big announcement for that, but we're still working out the ink for that. But we will be moving the schedule. It won't be bi-weekly all the time, but it's going to be we're more than likely we're going to move weekly soon, but we're doing bi-weekly for right now. Okay, so that's all we can say. That's all I can say. But we're going to have a really cool episode talking about Black corporate America on the Black Print.
Okay, I'm ready.
On Monday, we're going to have a really cool guest. We're working on it. Don't worry, it's happening. Me and Josh Pease. We're going to have a really cool caller. So yeah. That is it for us on the A Show. For Meelz, I'm Justin. I got to get the show up for the Patreon, so we got to go. I'll see you guys next week when we talk about Royal Rumble and everything going on with that. Peace out.